welcome to my channel. And today I'm just going to talk to you about my journey on the anxiety and depression path. Over Christmas I posted a vlog on my struggles with anxiety and depression. I'm happy to say now that I'm actually getting some help with those, which is going so well so far. I did say on my last vlog that if you are employed by a company, sometimes they offer an employee assistance program. So that's just to help you usually with anything legal, any personal matters, family matters, health matters, etc. So as part of that, my company quite luckily subscribed to them. You'll find that a lot of them actually do these days, many companies do. So I'm lucky enough to work for a company that has an employee assistance program, and I thought, well, you know what, why not try it? It can't do any harm. So I have now been put in touch with a counsellor and I've had my first session. I'm not going to lie, it wasn't a particularly easy session because I had to face some painful memories. It's not to say that it's your typical counsellor going through, oh, everything relates back to your childhood, blah blah blah, but in some cases that's going to be true, and it's certainly a case for myself, which I guess I hadn't really thought about too much. I think because it was so painful I just kind of locked it in a box, threw away the key, but I've learned that that's probably not helped me in my journey along with anxiety and depression. So my company have now set up for me to have 6 sessions with a counsellor. So I've had my first one and I thought I'd let you know how it went. So it did, like I said, kind of come back to something that had happened in my childhood. It was a series of events, but mainly starting with one big one. I'm not going to go into it because it is still too painful and raw for me to talk about, even though it happened 30 odd years ago almost. But I didn't deal with it, and I think that's kind of rolled over into what I do now. So the way that I was brought up was to be, nice to everyone, help anyone out wherever you can, and I think I've probably done quite too much of that, so been too selfless. So I have to say, I have to learn how to say no occasionally, and it's not a bad thing to say no. You have to consider what time that you've got to do anything. You can't keep running around like a headless chicken like I have done. So, I already knew that I had to say no to more things, no to, families' requests, etc. And that's one of the things that I'm going to try to do this year, and try to do more of it. My husband has certainly told me enough times, and I'm sure he's pretty sick of telling me by now. One of the things when I was talking through things with the counsellor, along with, the way that I am, and what happened to me in my childhood, he did actually say to me, and he seemed to actually get quite choked up and emotional himself, as to how I've had the energy, where have I found the energy to cope with this for so long, yet not really discuss it. And I didn't really have an answer to that. I just thought, like I usually do in life, something gets chucked in my path, I deal with it and move on. Except I've never really dealt with the issue that I had when I was younger. So all it meant really was that I had to grow up very quickly and assume that parenting role quite early on. Like I say, always agreeing to help whenever I could do, and that's been to my detriment, I think. So and it seems that a lot of the anxiety and the depression that I have seem to be centred around fear of the unknown, of what will happen if I say no to something, and then also the guilt that I feel when I do say no. Even on a small matter now, I still feel guilty when I say no, but I have to be able to learn and understand that just because I've said no to something doesn't necessarily mean that a bad thing's gonna happen. But and that then has led on to the issues that I have with severe headaches and migraines, which I'm also seeing a neurologist about now at the hospital. although she doesn't think there's anything major wrong, which is good. But you know, all the anxiety and the depression and the stress of daily life has kind of got to me, and that's where I have cluster headaches, cluster migraines, which is really, really difficult to deal with, and in itself can make you feel depressed that you've got yet another headache. And it can make you feel anxious that whilst you're out and about and, you know, going about your daily life, you can start to get anxious that you're going to have another headache come on, or that, you know, it'll happen, saying in an important meeting maybe with a customer. So they're the kind of things that I guess I've learned on my first session. My next session, we're going to be talking about coping strategies. So when the when the counsellor said to me, what are your coping strategies, I just drew a blank, because I don't really know. I didn't know. I couldn't pull it out for myself. I was thinking, I don't know, I just deal with it and just and move on. But he said, oh, do you go for a walk? Do you do any exercise? And of course, yes, I do. I walk Rocco, my cockapoo, my little doggy, light of my life, as well as my husband, of course. I have him and I walk him every morning. Try to walk him for an hour before work, so about 3 miles or so. And then I also joined a gym, although having said that, I haven't been in about 6 weeks. So I will be going and getting back into the gym next week as well, because I know that going to the gym kind of releases the noradrenaline and, you know, the good feelings, I guess, once you've had a workout. So I'm going to get back into that next week and see how I get on with that. I will let you know how my next session goes, and talking about coping strategies. So I hope this has been of some help to you. As I've said before in the last vlog that I do on this, please make sure you reach out and talk to people if you have anxiety or depression. You'd be surprised how many people actually understand what you're going through and have been through it themselves. You know, and they can help you sort those rational from the irrational thoughts as well that you've got going on in your head. So definitely talk to people, and I shall let you know, like I said, how I get on with the coping strategies, and I hope that I can share some of those with you that may help those of you out there that do suffer with anxiety and depression. Just remember, keep talking. And if you've enjoyed this, please hit the like button and subscribe if you want to see the rest of the series of these. So there should be at least another 5 of these, but I will try to do more, but maybe not as frequently as weekly, once I get past my counselling sessions. Anyway, bye for now.